listening to you.
Yes, sir.
Burkina Faso can't tell us what to do here. They can't ask us questions because there's absolutely nothing they give us. America is giving us billions and billions and billions. Now if somebody gives you billions and they have something they're unhappy about, it is your right to tell them, no, you are wrong. America is wrong in the assessment. But we mustn't say America must go to hell. I'm a leader. If America leaves, people are going to lose their jobs. People are going to die. At the moment, there's doctors that don't even have jobs. At the moment. If we lose PEPFAR, you see, I'm not those politicians that says things that people want to hear. We can't afford to lose PEPFAR. We can't afford to lose AGUA. We have the highest unemployment rate in the world. Now I must come here and say Trump must go to hell. What about the people? Who's going to give them jobs? We must get our ducks in a row first. We've got minerals, we've got gas. Once we have that, you see, a leader must not be emotional. You must not now say Trump must go to hell. Then Trump says, let me show you. Then the people are going to die, the HIV positive people, because we depend on 25% of our HIV/AIDS budget is from PEPFAR. AGUA is giving hundreds and thousands of people jobs, particularly in the Western Cape and the Eastern Cape.
You know, guys, this is a very tough time, especially for the people that are trying to say things that are making sense. Honest South Africans are being attacked on social media right now simply because they are saying things that are making sense. You see, the politicians in this country have actually taken advantage of the back and forth between the Trump administration and the ANC. They see this back and forth as their revolutionary fight. They see America as this big superpower. They see themselves as the underdogs. But for some reason, they think they can take on the United States of America. So this is their revolutionary fight. So these people will actually pursue their revolutionary fight at the expense of the country. This is why you will see the politicians in the media saying things that are actually making their followers believe that we as a country, we can take on the United States of America. The politicians in this country, they have shown it that they don't care about the implications of the things that they say. They don't care. As long as they appear as the next Chris Hani, as long as they appear as the next Peter Mukaba, as long as they appear as the next Robert Sobukwe, they don't care if they will appear as a revolutionary at the expense of the country. You know what is said about this whole thing is that you have the followers of these politicians, which are average South Africans. And these average South Africans are echoing the sentiments of these politicians. They are backing these politicians on what they are basically saying. However, what these followers of these politicians are failing to understand is that they are not on the same boat with the politicians. They are not on the same boat with the politicians. Because let's not kid ourselves. America, if it wants, they can actually make our lives a living hell. They can do that easily so. And if things actually get bad in this country, the politicians can always pack up their families and leave this country. And because these people are multimillionaires, they will be comfortable wherever they live. They can take their families to Botswana, Namibia, and they will live comfortably there because they are multimillionaires. So what's going to happen with the followers of these politicians? The followers of these politicians will have to live here and remain here in South Africa and basically face the consequences of the words of their political leaders. That's why I'm saying that these people are failing to understand that they are not on the same boat with the politicians. Politicians can go out in the media and be reckless because they know that they are well off. But average South Africans cannot afford to go out and be reckless because the majority of them are actually poor. That's why it is so strange for me to hear average South Africans coming out to say that we don't care about America. America can take their things and actually leave this country. That is a reckless statement coming from an average South African. Because if we were to make an example, how many American companies are operating in this country? How many people have actually been hired by those American companies? If these American companies decide to withdraw, if let's say just 30% of these American companies decide to pull their business from this country, can you just imagine how many people are actually going to lose their jobs? Sit down and actually think about it. How many people are going to lose their jobs? And these people that are busy backing the politicians, they don't even think about that because they say, we don't care. So now you will have more people unemployed. And where are those people actually going to get the jobs? Those people are not going to get the jobs. They are not going to get the jobs because South Africa is not even building any businesses. So they are not going to get the jobs. The ANC has had 30 years to actually build the economy of this country so that people can actually find jobs. And the ANC has basically failed with that. So if these companies actually pull their businesses, more people are going to lose their jobs. And these people are not going to find any jobs. But these people that are backing the politicians, they are also trying to appear as revolutionary on social media. So they don't care about the implications of what they say, even on social media. They don't care how this potentially can hurt the people of this country. They don't care about that. They don't care about that. I once heard someone saying that, no, even if America can pull out their businesses, we can build our own businesses. Why hasn't South Africa built its own businesses? Why hasn't South Africa built its own businesses? And it is so crazy that the same people that have been saying that the ANC has destroyed this country, the ANC has failed to actually create a conducive environment so that the businesses can come into the country so that people can find jobs, are now backing the same ANC and saying that, no, we don't care. Even if we lose the jobs, we are going to create the jobs. Where are the people going to find the jobs? I guess this is the question that Gayton McKenzie is saying, that it's fine. We can say that, okay, the assessment of the United States of America on what is happening in the country, we can say, okay, it is wrong. But we must push for the leaders of this country to actually sit down with the United States and actually talk about these things in a reasonable manner. And I guess this is what Ramaphosa was saying 2 days ago when he said that America is a big trading partner of this country. So this back and forth that is happening in there on social media, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like what is happening on social media. It's because Ramaphosa, maybe he's actually aware that, okay, we cannot lose these people. These people are actually investing a lot in this country. But you have the politicians that are trying to appear revolutionary with their followers. It is insane. It is insane. I mean, even if you look on the side of social media, I remember yesterday, there was a girl on social media who said that, no, we don't care. America can pack up their businesses and actually leave us alone. We don't care about that. And people were saying that if you hate America so much, why don't you delete these social media platforms that you are using? Because most of them are actually built by Americans. Why don't you delete this Twitter that you are communicating this message with? Delete Facebook, delete Twitter, delete YouTube. Because you hate America. Why do you think it's okay for you to continue using the platforms that are built by Americans while you are insulting the same Americans? Delete these platforms and build your own platforms. Even on YouTube, this is what is happening. There are a lot of these channels that are busy out here attacking America, and America is somehow paying these people to be on the same platforms while they are insulting them. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. So the people that hate America so much, maybe you should stop using the products that come from the US. If you hate America so much, you do not communicate with the people using the platforms that are built by Americans. Build your own platforms so that you can communicate your own messages. You cannot be on Twitter and say that, no, we hate America, America can fuck off. You cannot be on YouTube and do the videos where you are talking nonsense about America when America is the one that actually gave you the platform. It doesn't make any sense. And one thing that actually makes me even more furious are the people that are saying that the Afrikaner farmers can actually leave this country. You see, guys, when it comes to this one actually makes me furious as a South African. It makes me furious. As South Africans, we must protect all the farmers. We must protect the black farmers. We must protect the white farmers. We must protect the African farmers. We must protect the Indian farmers. We must protect all the people that are farming in this country. This notion of ours of saying that we don't care about these white and African farmers, they can leave this country. Guys, this one, we must not stand for it. We must not stand for it, because you know what they say. They say that the people that are not learning from history, they are bound to make the same mistakes again. You remember that just over 20 years ago, what happened in Zimbabwe? What happened in Zimbabwe? What happened in Zimbabwe? The Zimbabwe government and the people in Zimbabwe, they went out to say that, no, we are taking our land back. We are chasing out these farmers. And today, as we speak, the government in Zimbabwe is busy begging the farmers to say that, guys, please come back. We are willing to even compensate you. We are willing to compensate you. We are willing to compensate you. And every time when I make examples about what happened in Zimbabwe, you will see the Zimbabweans will always be in my emails everywhere crying. And Thomas, please do not say this about Zimbabwe. Please try to learn what happened in Zimbabwe. We know what happened in Zimbabwe. The people of Zimbabwe, they listened to the communist government of Zimbabwe, and when this government actually lied to them to say that, guys, let's go out and take our land and take our farmers, let's chase out these business people, because this is our land, and we need to take all of this. And today, as we speak, the Zimbabweans are the orphans of this continent. Millions and millions of Zimbabwe are scattered even here in South Africa. They are scattered here in South Africa, despite the narrative that is being peddled that these people actually have land. So right now, as we speak, the Zimbabwean government is begging the farmers to come back. They are even willing to compensate these farmers. So I'm going to read a couple of sentences from this article. And please, guys, tell me if you think what has been said on this article is different from what the ANC is saying. So we know that the Zimbabwe is basically regretting these land grabs that actually happened in their country. It says that Zimbabwe to compensate white farmers who lost land in seizures 20 years ago. Harare. Zimbabwe says it will compensate local and foreign white farmers who lost land and property more than 20 years ago in farm seizures meant to redress some of the wrongs of colonialism. These are the ways of the ANC. Because even this bill of theirs, they are talking about redress some of the wrongs of apartheid. About 4,000 white farmers lost their homes and swath of land when the black majority country's then President Robert Mugabe launched the often chaotic redistribution program in 2000, which turned violent at times. Mugabe, who died in 2019, said it was aimed at redressing colonial-era land inequalities after the Southern nation gained independence from white majority rule in 1980. So you can hear that these are the same things that the ANC is saying right now. These are the same things. And Finance Minister Mthuli Ncube announced on Wednesday at a meeting with diplomats that his government has approved 441 applications for compensations worth $351 million from white local farmers and 94 applications from foreigners worth $196 million. But only 1% or $3.5 million will be paid in cash to local farmers who lost land. The balance, Ncube said, will be paid through the insurance of treasury bonds. So Zimbabwe is basically regretting taking the land from the farmers. So this notion that the farmers in this country can go to hell, guys, this one is one thing that we must not stand for it. This one we must not, we must condemn it. We must condemn it. We need all the farmers. We need all the farmers in this country, because I can guarantee you now that the people that are on social media and running their mouths about the farmers and the farmers can live in this country, these people are not producing what these farmers are producing. They are just trying to sound revolutionary on social media, but they are not putting in the hard work that the farmers are actually putting in. So we must not allow the people on social media to go and say that the white and African farmers can actually leave this country. We need all the farmers in this country. We don't care if those farmers are black. We don't care if those farmers are Indians. We don't care if those farmers are Afrikaners. We don't care if those farmers are white. All the people that are farming in this country, they must be protected, because the kind of work that they are doing, majority of us are not even willing to put 1% of a work that these people are actually putting. These people are doing a hard work that most of us are not even willing to put. But it is easy for the people to use their cell phones to go on social media and to try to sound revolutionary, to say that we can farm ourselves. We know how many people were actually given the land to farm, and what happened with those farms. We know how many people were actually given the land. What happened to a lot of people that were given the land to actually farm? They ended up selling that land. They ended up turning those farms into nonsense. So we are not going to listen to the people and their stupid rhetoric trying to sound revolutionary on social media, saying that we must get rid of the white and African farmers. That one, we must not listen to it. We are going to condemn it. We don't care if they cry. We don't care if they come on social media, and we don't care if they come on the comment sections and cry. We don't care about that, because they are not farming themselves. They are not willing to put themselves through what the farmers are putting themselves through. We are not going to listen to that. So guys, you remember that yesterday we actually spoke about the executive order that was basically signed by the United States President Donald Trump. And in that executive order, there is a part where the President of the United States said that the White House said Washington will also formulate a plan to resettle South African farmers and their families as refugees. The White House said Washington will also formulate a plan to resettle South Africa farmers and their families as refugees. It said United States officials will take steps to prioritize humanitarian relief, including admission and resettlement through the United States Refugee Admission Program for Afrikaners in South Africa, who mostly are white descendants of early Dutch and French settlers. So I remember yesterday, after I read this, I said, guys, man, there's absolutely no way that the farmers of this country are going to leave this country, man. Like, let's be honest. There's no way that these people are going to leave. No way. I know that South African farmers, they actually love this country, man. They love this country. They love this country because you can even see by the work that they do. The work that they do, how many of us are actually willing to put ourselves through what these farmers are actually doing. I said that there's no way that these people are going to leave. And I mean, it is sad because I was wrong. I was wrong. It looks like some of these farmers are willing to actually take on this offer that was given to them by the United States president. Like, it is sad for me. And the reason why I'm saying it is sad for me, it is because these farmers, they are hearing the rhetoric of the people on social media, and they can feel that, okay, our lives right now are in danger, and they are looking at their families and they are protecting their families to say that we are not going to live in a country where our lives are threatened, whereas we are doing such an important job, meaning that this country is not appreciative of what we are doing. And what is more sad is that the people that are insulting these farmers are not even the farmers themselves. They are not producing anything. They are not producing anything. So it is sad for me to actually realize that I was wrong, and some of these people are actually willing to leave South Africa.
I mean, many Afriforum came out and said the cost would be too high for the Afrikaner community to take up this deal. And there's a sense that given access to opportunity and given statistically what we know about the economic and financial positioning and conditionalities of white Afrikaner families, they have it relatively well in South Africa compared to what they would have it as in the USA. Would anyone reasonably take up this deal and settle in the US as a refugee?
Well, just to give you an indication, in the last 18 hours since this news had broken of the executive order that was signed, we've been inundated with more than 10,000 inquiries from South Africans inquiring about the process of which they could follow to become refugees and which they can relocate with their families to the United States. Annually, we support approximately 11,000 temporary agricultural workers that travel to the US between March and October of each year to work on US farms. The way has now been paved for those individuals that are known as H-2A visa workers to make use of this opportunity and move to the US permanently. They already have employment in the United States and they can comfortably resettle with their families. And I think therefore our concern is focused in and around the agricultural sector. There are other sectors such as finance, manufacturing and various skills that will also be affected, but this is something that directly affects the food security of South Africa. It also impacts on the binational trade, as many of those trade sectors are for agro-processed goods that are currently being traded with the United States. So the concerns here are real, and the interest that we have seen alarms us as business. The impact on South Africa has got a dire end outlook at this stage.
Yeah. What do you envision a solution to this to be, concrete?
That's that, guys. So it will be interesting to see how many of these people are willing to actually go into farming. It will be very interesting to see how many of these people are willing to go into farming. Man, what is happening in this country, man, it is a mess. It is a mess. It's like we see right now, like we see our neighbors are begging the farmers to come back. They are begging the farmers to come back with millions and millions of people. They are begging the farmers to come back. But we are willing to put ourselves through what those people have put themselves through, as if we didn't learn anything from what actually happened in Zimbabwe. So, is this what we have actually become? Are we going to get rid of the farmers? Are we going to get rid of the farmers in this country? Don't we care about the kind of work that these people are actually doing? Don't we care about that? Are we actually going to impress the politicians to an extent where we are going to put our food security at risk? Is this what we are willing to do? To actually impress our political leaders? Because the political leaders will actually just move to a place where they have good farming, where there's food, where there's everything. While we are here insulting the people that are working so much. What is happening in this country, man? It is a mess, man. It is a mess. I remember I said yesterday that no, man, there's no way. Like, I'm happy, like, not all the farmers are leaving, because there are also some of the farmers that are on social media that are saying that I'm not leaving this country, man. I love South Africa. I'm happy that there are farmers that are like that. But the notion of us actually getting rid of the farmers, this is the worst thing that we can actually do for ourselves as the country. This is the worst thing that we can do. It's the worst. Are we actually going to put our lives in the hands of the ANC, the same ANC that has caused us pain for the past 30 years? This is one thing that I'm failing to understand. Are we going to put our lives in the hands of the same comrades and say that, okay, these comrades can save us? We don't care if the American companies leave. We don't care if we are being sanctioned. We don't care if the farmers are leaving this country. We know that the holy mighty ANC is going to save us. Is this what we are going to do as the people of this country? Because if this is what we are doing, it just shows us how gullible and easily lied to as the people. Because this is one thing that we are going to regret. We can say whatever that we want to say, but we must not play anywhere near the farmers. That's why I'm saying that all the farmers in this country, they must be protected. We don't care of the color of the skin of those farmers. All the farmers in this country, they must be protected, because the work that they are doing, the work that the farm workers are doing, most of us are not even willing to put a fraction of that. We are not even willing to do those kind of jobs. But we are here on social media trying to impress the people that are already rich. We are average South Africans. We do not have what the politicians have, but we are on social media. We are trying to impress the politicians that have everything. We are not even saying that, okay, these politicians are trying to put our country into more trouble. They are trying to put our country into more trouble. But no, we are trying to impress these people that are already well off. We are trying to impress these people that are already overpaid for doing nothing. Is this who we are as the people of this country? Is this who we are? It is insane. Can you just imagine 10,000 inquiries in 18 hours? 10,000 inquiries in 18 hours. And they are talking about the people in financial sector. They are talking about the people in the mining. They are talking about the people in the farm. This can actually hurt us as the country. It can hurt us because the skilled people will be leaving this country. The skilled people will be leaving this country. And how many of the people are actually skilled as most of these people? That's why I'm saying it is bizarre to see how Gayton Mackenzie has been attacked on social media. They are basically attacking Gayton Mackenzie.
We are committed to build a future here. We are not going anywhere.
They are attacking Gayton Mackenzie simply because Gayton Mackenzie said that Burkina Faso cannot ask us any questions because they are not doing as much as America. And where is the lie? Where is the lie? If you put these two countries, which between these two countries is actually beneficial to South Africa? If you put Burkina Faso here and if you put the United States of America here, which country is actually taking its resources and putting into South Africa? It is the United States. But people are angry at Gayton Mackenzie for saying that Burkina Faso is not giving us anything. It is truth. Of course, the communists in this country or the left in this country, they might admire what is happening in Burkina Faso. They might admire the leader of Burkina Faso, but that should not be enough for them to actually lie and try to make it look like Burkina Faso is doing more for this country than the US. The US is doing a lot for this country. Some of the things that the United States is doing for this country, they don't even have to do. Just like paying for this PEPFAR. The United States is not even supposed to be subsidized for the people that are living with the HIV in this country. They are not even supposed to be doing that. This is something that the ANC government should have been able to do by themselves. The fact that the ANC government still depends on the United States to cover where they cannot reach. It is something that they should have been able to do by themselves. This is the same ANC that people are expecting us to put our lives in. The ANC that cannot give all the people that are living with HIV treatment medications. The same ANC that has failed to create environment where the businesses can come. The same ANC that is responsible for the infrastructure collapse. The same ANC that is responsible for these terrible healthcare facilities that we have. The same ANC that is responsible for the rubbish and trash education system that we have. We, as the people of this country, we are expected to put our lives into the hands of the comrades that have basically destroyed this country simply because we are trying to appear as revolutionary. It is nonsense at its highest order. It is nonsense at its highest order. And I cannot believe how gullible South Africans are, how easily lied South Africans are. You can easily manipulate South Africans if you are a politician. You can manipulate them. You can. You can. You know, if the ANC was a government that was actually working for the people of this country, if the ANC was actually providing the services for the people of this country, if the ANC was not responsible for creating a country that has the highest unemployment rate in the world. Like, can you just sit down and think about it? This is a country that has the highest unemployment rate in the world. And all of this happened under the ANC. If the ANC was a political party and a government that was actually working for the people of this country, of course, maybe we would not be pissed off with them when they say that we don't care about these people, we don't care about this America, we don't care about that, because we know that these people are the people that are working for the people of this country. But we know that the ANC is a total opposite of that. Everything that the ANC touches, it turns into shit. This is what the ANC is. And for some reason, the revolutionaries on social media, they are expecting us to trust the ANC with our lives. This is what they are expecting us. It is nonsense. It is nonsense. I'm not going to listen to the politicians that are well off. I don't care about the politicians that are well off. What are the politicians doing for us? Except giving us the slogans and stupid chants. What are the politicians doing for the people of this country? The same politicians are failing to hold the ANC accountable. These politicians that are trying to appear as they are appearing unified with the ANC, they are failing to hold the ANC accountable. They are failing to hold the president of this country accountable for making promises after promises after promises after promises. But today they are saying, no, let's stand with Ramaphosa because Ramaphosa knows what he's doing and he can take care of everything that is happening in the country. Absolute rubbish, man. This is rubbish. This is rubbish. This is rubbish. And sometimes I wish I could say that I am surprised that South Africans are so gullible that they are now listening to rich politicians when they are trying to grandstand against the United States of America. But then these are South African voters. Just look at how they have been voting throughout the years. What can we expect from the South African voters? What can we expect from the people that are voting like this? What can we expect? Nothing. Nothing. On the other hand, I am not surprised that these people are actually echoing the same sentiments of the politicians. I'm not surprised because they are terrible voters. They are terrible voters. They clearly do not think about anything. They do not think about anything. They do not sit down and actually think about anything through. No, they don't do that. They don't do that. And anyone who comes with common sense, they will insult that person. They will ridicule that person because they simply want to wobble in their ignorance. These are the kind of people that we are dealing with in this country. These are the kind of people that we are dealing with. These are the kind of people that we are dealing with. So anyway, Afriforum and Solidarity, they did a press conference and they said that, no, Donald Trump, man, we know that you are offering us a way out, but we are not going anywhere. We are not going anywhere. We are going to live in this country and actually fight for everything to actually come straight in this country. So this is how a bit of that press conference actually went yesterday.
Future here, we are not going anywhere. We are committed to dialogue. However, the ANC leaders has made dialogue difficult by breaching trust when it signed the Bella Act and through the dishonorable way it handled the NETLAC agreement on Bella. Kalikri will also refer to that. There was no form of loyalty or integrity towards us in that specific process. Solidarity represents ordinary workers. The G20 summit places South Africa in the spotlight. And this could be a major investment opportunity that addresses unemployment, poverty, and inequality. Or it could be an investment disaster. The US focus on South Africa will expose the country's reckless domestic policy to the world. The ANC's foreign policy exposes all of us in South Africa. Here's the irony. Solidarity has conducted a comprehensive foreign campaign. What to do? To protect AGOA, and the irony, despite of the ANC.
So some of the revolutionaries, they say that no, man, we don't care about AGOA. What the hell is AGOA? America can take their AGOA. We don't care about the jobs that will be lost with AGOA being taken away from South Africa. This is how crazy things have actually gotten. So this is what the revolutionaries in this country are saying, that we don't care even if we lose.
AGOA is an American trade policy that allows for increased trade of products and commodities from qualifying sub-Saharan African countries to the United States. AGOA is short for the African Growth and Opportunity Act and has been in effect since the year 2000. Through AGOA, producers and traders can export goods free of duty to the United States. As a result, there are now many companies, stores, and importers in the United States looking for sellers in Africa. Through AGOA, African sellers receive assistance with access to markets where they are linked to buyers for their products, both in Africa and America. In addition, through partners like African Trade Platform, African exporters are linked to logistics providers and get unprecedented access to finance through funding partners. If you are in agriculture, manufacturing, energy, a technology startup, or are looking to grow your export business, then African Trade Platform can help you with linking you to buyers through AGOA. We will help you with getting compliant to export to the United States and other African countries. Sign up for free today. African Trade Platform, the hub for African trade.
So this is what the comrades saying, that we don't care even if AGOA goes, we don't care about AGOA.
We have encountered incredible hostility towards the ANC in the USA, but we have constantly maintained that pressure should be placed on the ANC, and specifically the ANC leaders, so that we can ensure that ordinary South Africans are not punished. And that is why we ask the US not to kick South Africa out of AGOA.
I want to start off by saying we blame President Cyril Ramaphosa, as well as senior ANC leaders, as well as some people in government, for what is happening now. This is indeed a crisis. We try to avert this crisis. Some of you might know, in April last year, we wrote a letter to President Ramaphosa urging him not to sign the Expropriation Act, saying what we believe the problems in the Act are. And by the way, those problems are not fabricated. If you believe it is fabricated, go and read Section 12.3 of the Act, which allows expropriation with no compensation. Of course, Deputy President Mashatile said in October last year that no compensation and expropriation without compensation is the same thing. We try to avert this. We also stated in our letter to the President that this will harm international relations, it will harm investments in the country, and we hoped and asked that he would refer the Expropriation Act back to Parliament. But I must say, our proposal was treated with disdain, because to this day we have not received any response from the President. Also with regard to the Bella Act, and you will know that President Trump mentioned some sectors of the community are being treated very badly, as he stated it. The fact is, the Bella Act is the worst thing any government can do to a section of its population. Afrikaners don't have traditional areas where our language and culture can thrive and exist. Schools, Afrikaans schools plays a prominent role in our cultural existence. And therefore, an attack on Afrikaans schools is an attack on our cultural existence. And by sending out this message to the world, as well as the US, that this government is allowing a certain section of the population to be targeted, then it is not our fault. The president, as well as senior ANC leaders, should take full responsibility for that. We see our future in Africa. Our people in Afrikaans, the Afrikaner folk, became a people here on the southern tip of Africa. We did not develop elsewhere. We are not Europeans. You had Germans, Europeans, Dutch coming to the southern tip of Africa as Europeans, but we became a people here. We are indigenous to this people and to this country, and we are going nowhere. We want to also show appreciation to President Trump, as well as of course the US government, for recognizing and identifying the discrimination that Afrikaners are experiencing through racial legislation, through the BLA Act, through threats to property rights. Of course, hopefully that will help to also urge the various parties also in this country to go to the negotiation table to find amicable solutions that's in the interest of all in the country. The fact is, our ancestors worked hard to make sure that we as a people are formed here on the southern tip of Africa. We're not going to disrespect that. We also have the interests of future generations in mind. We also have to make sure that our culture is transferred to future generations. And that cannot be done abroad. You cannot, in the long term, or there's a real risk. If you go to another country now, there's a real risk that your grandchildren will not say to you in the morning, "Hello, Opa." They would say something like, "Hi, Granddad," or something in that respect. And that we don't want. That is why we are committed to find solutions locally.
So, this is what basically the sentiments of Afriforum and Solidarity to say that, no, we are not leaving. We are not leaving. We are not leaving. Me personally, I would not advise anybody to leave, man. You are not. If people start leaving because they disagree with the comrades, then the comrades will always win. The comrades will always win. So, Afriforum and Solidarity, they are saying that they are not leaving. They are not leaving. Gayton Mackenzie is still being attacked till today for basically saying things that are making sense. This is South Africa for you guys, and you have the hopeless voters that are backing the politicians who basically do not give a damn about them. The politicians are just using these people for their own expedience. Guys, please tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button, and the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso. I will see you next time. Bye bye.